Chaos is Wavingcreed and Valred. So Wavingcreed is the guy who was kind of famous on the ladder for lock-in Flower and still managing to be like top 10 with that when everyone thought that Flower was just a joke. And yeah, so he actually reached Legend last series with lock-in Flower, which is pretty impressive to say the least. So we have a pretty interesting matchup with Shadowings and Jokeonu versus Wavingcreed and Valred. The players are in the lobby. So
and will we be watching those?
Yes, I'm in the lobby already.
Oh, okay. And Shadows lobby, yeah. All right. Yeah, I should have brought some snacks because I feel like these are going to be very, very starved games.
These are going to be very, very starved games, dude. Absolutely. I think all of these players are absolute starve lords. Like, Shadowings is the king of the starvers, but I mean, Jokeonu for sure can go for a bit of starve as well. And Wavingcreed and Valred as well. They both have very high tactician scores. So I think this game is going to be, like the last series where we saw people actually spend their Mythium more than once per game. That's not going to happen this time around, This is going to be like a 1 to 11 send from both teams against both players.
Absolutely.
All right, looks like the players are ready, so we can get into the game ASAP.
Yep. I hope they don't forget the mastermind modes.
Yeah, I think the mastermind mode is not that crucial as long as everybody picks a mastermind option.
Yeah. I mean, they forgot about it, but they...
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll see, right? If anybody picks something that isn't mastermind, we'll see it, and then we can ask for a remake. So I'm sure the players are all honourable people. They're all going to choose a mastermind option, regardless of whether tournament mode is chosen or not.
And we see chaos on both Wavingcreed and Valred.
Yeah, okay, so they're taking the Bonnie and Basti strategy. I mean, it worked pretty well for those guys, right?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we have Shadowings on Greed, and I'm just waiting for Joke to pick, and then I'll swap over onto the game scene.
And that's already interesting placement for Wavingcreed.
All right, guys, welcome. We are here. Game number 1 of the second round of the Nova Cup. We have CC Jesters, that's Shadowing and Jokeonu on the left-hand side, versus Reign of Chaos, that's Wavingcreed and Valred on the right-hand side. And both Wavingcreed and Valred going for very risky starters, by the way.
Yeah,
welcome, guys. This is a case where Shadowings and Jokeonu could literally win the game with a snail on one.
Yeah. A Jokeonu is going for the Widdison build. He's opening with a Fire Archer and a Windhawk.
Okay. And can you explain to me why that's a good build and not just trash?
I honestly can't. I mean, Widdison invented it, so it must be bad.
I mean, Widdison is not a terrible player, but I don't see the benefit of this over just starting Windhawk on its own.
Well, this way you're more overbuilt on wave 1, so
true.
I can certainly, I can certainly see the appeal.
Yeah.
But yeah, just starting Windhawk and having some bolts might be better.
It might be better, yeah. But Widdison's not known for his bolts. He's known for his peewee.
He's known for his very big peewee. And I just want to point out that we see 4 king-ups in this game.
Yeah, that's 4 king-ups. That's the first and last time any of them are going to use their Mythium. Yeah,
because I thought there's just going to be one wave where I'm going to see any send, but...
Apparently not.
Apparently not.
But Valred is going for the very, very questionable Windhawk into Violet, which I think is not a good play, especially because he Chaos rolled the Tempest. So I think it's just strictly better if he pushes 5 workers and plays the Tempest on 2, right? That has to be better.
It is. Because he is staying low workers for a very long time.
Yeah.
And Shadow is a player that can certainly use that. I would not be surprised if he just pushes 6 workers and places like 2 PVs or 1 PV. And he does that. He's pushing 6 workers.
Nice. Actually nice to see that aggression coming out from Shadow. The gun is a very strong unit early. He knows that his opponent was staying on 3 workers until wave 2 started, so the most he can possibly receive is 40 on wave 3.
Yep.
I think that's really good decision making from Shadow.
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
And he may even leak here versus 2 snails, but I don't think he cares.
Like, he's leaking very, very small.
Yeah.
And it's just worth it to have those workers earlier than others.
Oh,
because
absolutely.
you start generating that mid-tier.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
And the leak just gives you more time.
Alright, here is the double snail, so there will be a small leak there from Shadow, but again, emphasis on the fairly small. Now the 40 send against Joke, that might actually leak him as well.
Yeah.
We'll have to pop back and look at that and see how that pans out. Wavingcreed should be fine.
The Archer is tanking too much.
And Valred, of course,
He's
is fine.
leaking. And Shadow is leaking
56
more
is
than
more than I expected, yeah. But Joke, he's also leaking not a small amount here.
Yeah, so they're getting
44.
some
There's
king
18
damage
creeps reaching the king here.
here. Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Since Joke's playing Chaos, I kind of missed if he had other options compared to...
Well, in his role, we can see in his role, he has Neko and Infiltrator.
This is the role he got for the next wave.
Ah, okay.
He had another one for this wave.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what he could have built that was better than a Tempest.
Yeah. But that was like a whole wave 3 reaching the king, because there was 18 creeps leaked.
Yeah, true. And I feel like if he had a better option, he should have gone for it, because we knew beforehand that Shadow is going to leak if he gets a full send here.
So the thing is, like, Shadow's leak was completely acceptable if Joke holds, right?
Yeah.
They just can't both leak like that.
Yeah, true. Like, maybe there was some form of miscommunication there.
Maybe, fam.
Maybe.
Right, and here's the big counter send now coming out from Shadow and Joke. The thing is that Wavingcreed and Valred, they're both just really rich after those leaks from Shadow and Joke. So I think this will be a leak on Wavingcreed for sure, but Valred obviously is holding here.
His units are just bad here, so he's gonna leak. But
he might get one more?
Yeah.
He does? No, he doesn't.
Oh, he doesn't.
That's a 49%. That's respectable.
I mean, it is a brute, and he leaked less than Shadow did on last wave. So
he even leaked less, I think, than Joke did to a Dragon Turtle. No, okay, Joke was 44%.
Yeah, but it's just slightly more, and it is a power merc.
But look at the state of the game as well, though. Like, Wavingcreed 7 workers, Valred 8.
Yeah.
Shadow and Joke both still on 6. And actually, Wavingcreed has the highest income as well on top of that.
Yeah, they are noticeably behind after that wave 3.
I really hope that Shadow and Joke can kind of come back into this one, because I'd hate to see them go out so early.
Yeah, same here. I like to see games go longer and to see more decisions.
Alright, now I think Shadow can do quite well here, but the send is not small. That's a 120 send coming out from Valred. And Joke on you, he's going to have to hold 100 send of his own, but I think he's got a good chance with that Violet on the board. I think he can do pretty fine. Let's just have a bit of a look into Shadow's lane, because I think this might be the most impactful one. The gun does tank the boss and only the boss, which is perfect for him.
He has a very good split for it.
Got a very good split. Yeah.
The Growl is not the most gold efficient unit. And the veteran is just not great
here. But now the entire right split goes straight on the gun after the veterans die. That's the worst case scenario for Shadow. That's the worst case scenario. He's now going to leak pretty hard. Joke is holding. That's crucial. If Joke leaked here as well, this game's as good as done.
Yeah. It would be just done, because the enemies would just snowball on them.
Yeah.
But they're really struggling, and Shadow is slightly falling apart here. He just had no great answer for this wave. If you have to build a Growl while expecting a send, you really know things are not going your way.
Yeah. And his split that looked so good at the start just fell apart when those veterans died, and the brute and everything on the right side went straight on the gun. If half of that, even if 1 or 2 of those creeps go on the Growl instead of on the gun, He's going to do so much better, like by an order of magnitude.
Yeah, also because the brute went right. It then went onto the gun.
Yeah.
Which
I don't know how he can prevent that. Maybe like if the Growl's a square higher or something. I'm really not sure.
He could prevent that by building the veteran on the left side and the Growl on the right side from the start. But yeah, the Growl would have to be half a square higher.
There is a resend though from Valred, and I think Shadow's going to do just fine on this wave if his gun doesn't tank too much.
Yeah.
And it's actually tanking nothing, so that's fine. I think he can do pretty well here. And meanwhile, Shadow and Joke, they now have a pretty respectable amount of Mythium saved up themselves, you know? And I wonder when they want to send. True. And why is it wave 8?
Well, wave 8 is a very decent wave to send on, and I'm really curious if we're going to see a mole on Valred.
Oh, they go 7? Oh no, Shadow!
We still see a
the penny leak here. Oh no!
Oh my god!
0% HP brute for Shadow. That's just gutting for him.
I really hope that we're gonna see some king damage on next wave. Else
they need it. They absolutely need it.
Yeah, I don't see this game going very far.
Yeah.
And also, if I look at Shadow's role and build, I'm not sure in what direction he's gonna develop that because he's really lacking tanks.
He's got tanks for 7 and 8, but I feel like he needs to shift here. I don't want to see this Tempest. I want him to shift into the Vulcan Cannon for 8.
I think it's enough with the Growl, possibly. I'm not sure. No. If he full builds, it is not. But it's kind of weird to shift that much if you're going for a big send and a leak.
Yeah, and these are big sends. There's 200 each here for Wavingcreed and Valred.
Because if you do that, you expect the enemy to leak, and then you kind of have to expect to get the gold from that.
Yeah, I just think if they could have held their nerve for one more wave and sent on wave 8, it would have been crushing against Wavingcreed and Valred. But, I mean, this is not bad. Like, let's have a look at Valred's lane.
Pretty decent leaks, because Valred is leaking huge.
Valred 70%, and actually Wavingcreed. I thought Wavingcreed was incredible here with his Canopy and his Badger and his Neko, but he still leaks 46.
The just destroyed those units,
Yeah.
And we get to see some king damage, because this early in the game, the Mole and the Brutes just do massive damage on the king.
Yeah, and both of those Brutes are still full HP as well, so you're right, this is going to be a lot of counter damage. The thing is that now Wavingcreed has nearly 200 Mythium saved up, and he's not under any pressure anymore on wave 8, so he can save again if he wants to, but it looks like the players go for an 8 send. That is an Ogre coming out for Wavingcreed. Now, what can Joke place to try and hold against this Ogre?
I mean,
he has Boar.
I think he might place the Boar.
Oh, but that's so bad against the Ogre. That's so bad against the Ogre.
Disciple and some Gargoyles would be better.
I think it would be better. I think you're right.
Yeah, he just
one Disciple and like 2 or 3 Gargoyles is much better. Like this Boar's going to get shredded by the Ogre.
Yeah. And the Disciple will still be alright on 9.
Shadow gets his gun though. Shadow gets his Vulcan. That's huge. He sells the Growl, he gets the Vulcan Cannon.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. He had the Growl, and they expected the enemies to leak, so he still had enough gold for this. And he should be able to cover, because Joke is...
The Vulcan Cannon solos wave 8 by itself. He doesn't need any of them.
Joke is really not gonna be performing great here.
He's
kills nearly the entire wave.
Yeah, he kills the Ogre and like 2 creeps, and that's it.
Oh yeah.
He might not even kill 2. He killed... that was 2.
Yeah. But Shadow is gonna be covering...
Yeah, I mean, Shadow covers his own wave. He might even full cover. Like, the Vulcan Cannon, you cannot underestimate it. It's insane on wave 8.
Yeah, the thing is, Shadow is in an alright spot after holding this.
But his income is very low.
Yeah, but his income is very low. I generally don't think he wants this game to go very long, because I really don't see a big future for his role. He's just lacking the tanks, in my opinion.
But when do they want to send, then? Like, it has to be 10, right? It has to be 10.
Yeah, I mean, 10 looks decent.
It has to be 10
against both when looking at the enemy and at their enemies, even though they're alone in the game, like especially with loan, it should be a 10 cent, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Or like income on 11. I kind of expect them to go Big 10, bait them into Creditor, and try to finish this game in Wave 12.
Yeah.
Because both Valred and Wavingcreed really don't look good there.
No, they both look super weak on 12 at the moment. Wavingcreed especially has nothing on the board for Wave 12 whatsoever.
Yeah.
But he is playing Chaos, so he might just get the perfect unit in that time.
He might get boars.
He might get boars, the perfect unit for every wave.
Yeah, for basically every wave. He might just get boars.
Polish means wirklich jeder winner.
Yeah, true. And we see some income.
They save though, so Shadow and Joke. Shadow and Joke going back to their roots, they've decided to play the Starvlord role. But I don't know how good that is for them, because if they end up leaking here on 10, and then Wavingcreed and Valred, they get the gold from the leaks, they get the gold from the income, and they've got loan potential as well. So, like, I don't know.
By not sending here and getting the send, I feel like they're gonna go 12.
Yeah.
And if the enemies hold to what?
Oh, Shadow goes post-income Ghost
Knight. Oh, okay.
I mean, he did get the perfect answer for that.
I'm not sure if... I'm really curious if this was planned or if they just panicked.
It may well have been planned. I was thinking before everything started that Ghost Knight looked incredible against Wavingcreed on 10. But then obviously Shadow didn't reach it. I didn't expect him to then go for it post-income.
Yeah.
Now there is a leak there from Valred and a shutdown. But Shadow and Joke both leaking quite heavily against the income sends.
Yeah.
Actually, their leak is actually much worse against income than they got with their like.
I'm really not sure if this was planned or if this was like last second panic, because this send really did not work out for them.
It really didn't. Really didn't. Like if they just sent dinos.
Yeah,
they would have held their own lane much better.
Yeah, I feel like they had to go for that, and then go 12 after that.
Yeah.
Like, watch closely if the enemies like edit a lot to see if they're creditor, and then decide if you go full or income.
Yeah, and the thing is because they skipped income, and then still sent. Wavingcreed and Valred, they now both have creditor options as well. Now, Valred doesn't go for it. Valred actually goes for a lone full push, which I really like as well.
Some really nice aggression. Yeah,
really solid aggression, actually. But he's even still on value. Like, he takes the loan.
I mean,
he's got 21 workers.
Yeah, because this looks more like a 13 cent against Shadow and
Joke, will be, right? It will be.
So they want to still stay on value, be safe on wave 12. And then try to strike them big.
And when does Shadow and Joke want to send? Now, Shadow and Joke, at least they both went with Creditor, so they can get some value from that.
Possibly they're discussing if 20 or 21 is the better send.
Yeah.
Right at this moment, but I'm not sure if they're going to be able to pull one of those waves off, so maybe they're going to have to settle for wave 19.
True. With Joke and Shadow, they're taking income here on 12.
Huh.
But then that's just going to play right into Wavingcreed and Valred's hands, because they can push super hard.
I don't think they will. Yeah, they're saving. Since I really don't understand why they would go for income here.
Yeah.
Like if they send, why not full send?
But they know that they're both.
And generally, why send?
Yeah, they know that they're both very strong on 12 and very weak on 13. They know that. Like they're both solid players. They know that they're strong on 12 and weak on 13. And they also know that Valred at least is very strong on 12.
But Shadow is afraid. He's building Tempests here. He's also building a Millennium.
Yeah.
But he's adding more Tempests as well.
At least they both full group and Creditor.
Yeah, but this is an easy hold for Valred and Wavingcreed. And do you think they're still going? Yeah, they are. They are.
The good thing for Shadow and Joke is that they both full greeded their Creditor on 11 and 12. Wavingcreed, I think, did not shift any gold on 12. He full built here.
Yeah, and Valred picked loan, so that certainly gives Joke and Shadow an
look
advantage.
At this.
Yeah, but I feel like they really gave too much pressure away with that income send.
Absolutely.
And I mean, Shadow has decent value and he has a Doomsday.
I feel like he probably has to sell his Growls here or at least get like a King Claw or something.
He
right?
should get a King Claw. Like, I feel like a Fire Lord is just not going to cut it. I mean, maybe a second Fire Lord if he sells both Growls.
You need some tank value.
Yeah. But he's still keeping the Growls.
The send is enormous here. Jokeonu shifted gold.
Wow.
A lot of gold.
A lot of gold.
He shifted 270 gold.
Yeah, he shifted 100 more than he had to.
Yeah. Oh no.
He felt too safe.
I don't know if he just boomered here or what, but I mean that's going to cost him. He's going to leak really hard.
Yeah, that's game.
And Shadow's not holding. Yeah,
that's game.
This is over.
It's over.
Wow. I mean, I think Shadow and Joke were the favourites coming into this game, but Wavingcreed and Valred, they just played this one very, very well.
But they made very weird decisions that are really not typical for them. I mean, okay, not sending 10, that's kind of the playstyle, okay, I get it. But why then not long save to 12?
Yeah, I think the post income on 10 was not ideal.
Yeah. I mean, you see the loan. I guess if you want to save over 10, then just accept that there's loan and try it. But then after that, the wave 12 send was just really questionable. Like, Wavingcreed pushes 7 workers into that. He's pushing to 21 workers and going in for the kill. And it works out for them.
It works out perfectly for them. They take the victory there on 13, and it wasn't even particularly close.
Yeah.
Like, I think Jokeonu made a bit of a mistake there. I think he must have run out of time. That can't have been intentional, because he shifted 278 gold there. And like the extra 100 gold may have been enough. Probably wouldn't have been enough for him to hold, right? It probably wouldn't have been enough.
No way.
But he could have just full spent as well. Like if he spends 270 there, if he has an extra Yuzora or something like that, then maybe that is enough.
Yeah, maybe that would be enough. Like he built a Nikomata as well, so he could have even gotten an Arctire with the gold.
Yeah. Oh, he did build an Echo. You're right. He could have just got an Arctor, and that could have changed things. That could have kept them in the game.
That's really a huge difference. Yeah, I feel that was certainly too greedy, especially since Shadow was not looking that well. I mean, sure, he has a Doomsday, but he has literally 0 tank value, except for Growls and Veterans, which are simply not great tanks.
Really not great at all. Really not great at all. And I think the 12 income send was kind of uncharacteristic from these two as well. Like
very uncharacteristic.
It seems like maybe the pressure's getting to them somewhat, because I feel like they made a couple of questionable plays here. Like the post income on 10, where I think like 2 dinos before income would have just made things very different. I think 2 dinos is like 1, just a better send against Valred, because it's going to soak up the Leviathan damage. But 2, like the extra income, they have another 50 gold each on Shadow and Joke if they send 2 dinos, and an extra 50 gold is definitely enough for Shadow to hold, and maybe enough for Joke to hold, or at least do significantly better.
Yeah, I just don't know what it is. Maybe it is the pressure, but this is a very uncharacteristic mistake for them, because they're more the players that decide to save too long.
Yeah,
instead of
going too soon.
Instead of panicking and sending income where it's not needed.
And then this 12 send just really sealed their fate, because if you see that this income send here on 12, Wavingcreed pushes 7 workers off that. Valred pushes 4 workers, which just means that they're getting that much more Mythium received on wave 13. But you can't hold it against Wavingcreed and Valred. They played this one really, really well.
Absolutely. I mean, the 12 cent also makes the wave longer. It also gives more time. So that absolutely sealed the deal. But certainly we should give credit to Wavingcreed and Valred as well.
Valred. They played this one super well. Like we thought coming into this that they were probably the underdogs, but I mean, they just played that one really, really well. Really well from start to finish, and a very well-deserved victory for those guys.
They punished the mistakes of Jokeonu and Shadowings and just took the win there. Yeah, I like to see it. But I hope they will regain their confidence now and show us what they're capable of. so we can have a nice series and 3 full games.
Yeah, absolutely. Jokeonu and Shadowings, they are 100% capable of coming back into this series, and we may end up seeing the reverse sweep, because this is another case, I think, of New Blood versus old school, right? Like Jokeonu and Shadowings, they've been around for years. I know Wavingcreed and Valred have also been playing for a very long time, but I don't think they've been in tournaments before. At least not that I remember.
I'm not sure if Wavingcreed participated in the last one. Like, maybe. But the thing is, this stuff happens. Like, last tournament, Tyrion and I lost against 2 players that were, I think, Diamond and Plat rated or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Sometimes you just have a really, really bad game, are unfocused or something, and then you just lose. Because in a tournament setting, people just really want to win, and they're gonna punish you if you fuck up. And that's what we've seen here.
Yeah, exactly. And you just can't underestimate these guys, right? Like, you kind of think they haven't got that tournament pedigree, but we've seen it twice now. We've seen it with Drakir and Slickins, and we've seen it with Wavingcreed and Valred.
Absolutely.
The New Bloods can absolutely stick it to the old school players, like, given half a chance. So I'm really excited now for game number 2, and I really hope for sake of Shadow and Joke that they can at least take this to a game 3. But for the viewers as well, like, it's so much more exciting to see a game go the distance. So without further ado, guys, we are here now in game number 2. Everybody has selected their options. Let's get into the game.
Oh my god. Penny, do you see this? Shadow picked Cash Out. And
pick Cash Out and gets the Bone Warrior.
And he gets the Bone Warrior. And we were discussing this just recently.
Yeah.
I don't think Cash Out is good, like, generally.
Yeah.
But
unless
you get a Bone Crusher.
Yeah.
Like, meaning a Bone Warrior that you can upgrade to a Bone Crusher.
Then it's insane.
And then it really changes up things.
Yeah.
Then it makes the game really spicy. You have a lot of pressure.
Absolutely, dude. That's like,
and he also has Disciple and Boar.
He has Disciple and Boar.
So this
is kind of a dream role for Shadow.
All over the charts.
Yeah. But like, he gets his 5th worker before the wave starts. He will almost certainly push 6 workers as soon as wave 1 starts, or as soon as he can afford to, at least. And meanwhile, Wavingcreed, however, he's on his comfort build as well. He gets that honey flower.
Nice.
I have to say as well, Valred is doing a pretty good opener compared to what... Oh, and Shadow sends the snail on 1. Oh no. Normally when he does this play, he does it so that he can go 6 workers and send out like 60 on wave 2. But this snail on 1 is just kind of releasing a lot of that pressure that he gets from starting with Cash Out.
Yep, that's true.
He may still be able to send 40 though. I'm not sure how long the wave is, but if by chance Shadow can get a Dragon Turtle on 2...
Yeah, he's pushing 6.
He is pushing 6, of course. But I don't think the wave is long enough, it's not. He needed a leak to be able to get a 40 resend.
Yeah.
He's not going to be far off. He does get the snail. Okay, snail in income.
Yeah, it's not enough though.
And Valred even adding here.
He's incredibly safe here.
Yeah. But he probably knows that he's under some pressure from the Bone Crusher opener, so I don't hate the fact that he goes for an Aqua here, and that will give him a free hold on wave 2.
I just dislike the positioning, honestly, because
I'm not a huge fan of the positioning.
To build it somewhere there.
But yeah, a free hold here for Valred with the snail resend puts him in a very solid position, I think.
Yeah, he can actually push to 7 workers now.
He can. The question is whether he does.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, Jokeonu stayed 4 workers meanwhile this whole time, which I think is... I was going to say it's a mistake, but actually Valred hasn't spent any Mythium yet. So it's not a mistake at all from Jokeonu. It's actually the correct play, especially while he's playing Castle.
Oh yeah. If he's playing Castle, then it's certainly the correct call.
Yeah, to just play like mega safe and...
Yeah, especially with Shadow pushing 6 workers.
But now
because
Valred is
that
on
really
6
makes
workers.
him vulnerable on wave 3.
Wavingcreed and Valred both actually have 6 workers here. So a heavy worker lead in favour of Wavingcreed and Valred. And Wavingcreed has no chance to leak here against a Dragon Turtle. And I think Valred also is going to be just completely fine here.
Yeah, he's going to be completely fine. The
Shadow
Green
will get the
strong.
Snail to go with the Dragon Turtle if he so chooses. He does not.
Yeah, he's saving. Jokeonu receiving a Brute here, though.
Yeah, that's pretty devastating against him. Like, he's 320 value here.
He will leak. He'll
leak, but he'll leak heavily, is the thing.
I don't think so. Like, the leak will be very small, and I don't think this is worth. He's just basically just leaking the Brute. He leaks the Brute and 1 creep on very low HP, but Shadow is easily holding.
Yeah.
He's gonna cover that up. At least most of it.
Yeah.
And no
Shadow easily holds, and yeah, you're right. He's gonna like deal even a decent chunk of damage to the Brute, so there's not much king damage done here. And now Shadow has 8 workers.
8 workers. I really like the aggression, and I hope he's gonna be sending a lot because his late game is absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
With the Boar, with the Disciple, and even a Zora to top it off.
Absolutely, dude. But yeah, there's barely any king damage done here. So now I think with the worker lead going on, well, it's actually not a lead.
Shadow standing. I like it.
Let's have a look at Valred's lane. What is his answer here? He has 110 gold. He is, of course, playing Chaos, and he doesn't have great stuff in his role here for wave 4. So he probably just has to upgrade an Atom or something like this.
This really does not look
Sells
great.
it for a Rogue Wave? I don't love that at all.
I mean, I feel like this is stronger than getting an Atom.
Yeah, but you lose gold from selling the Atom, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And look, the Rogue Wave just dies.
Maybe it's not stronger because you just damage the units without killing them.
I think if it was a fire elemental, that's a different story. But the Rogue Wave is just on its own not very strong at all.
Yeah,
so that's a big leak there.
Big. Way bigger than on Joke.
Oh no, but Shadow's leaking too.
Oh,
75% on
really
Shadow
big.
versus the 60%. Oh no.
Oh, I mean, it was very greedy to go 8 workers with the build that he is showing.
Oh no.
Because he has no damage this wave.
Yeah, they're going to take a chunk of king damage here. Now we have Shadow and Wavingcreed both on 9 workers. Valred on 8.
Keeps pushing.
Joke slacking on 7. He's kind of falling behind, but of course he's playing Castle, so what can you expect?
And I also feel like he's trying to be the safer player in this game. Like, even though he has Castle, he's realizing that Shadow's role is just nuts.
And Valred finds a flower here for wave 5, so he actually can have a perfect answer. He actually can just have a perfect answer for wave 5.
Nice.
So he should just be fine like this, right?
Yeah, he should be.
Meanwhile, Jokeonu, how's he going to do? He should be okay. Should be okay. The gun tank's the boss and nothing else, which is pretty much perfect for him. He only gets a DT. He's going to be okay. Meanwhile, Wavingcreed over here. Can this Dragon Turtle kill the flower quickly enough? It looks like it will.
No, he is going for a leak.
Does he kill the boss in time? That's the question. Oh, he does with the death rattle! That's so lucky!
But this is huge. Now they return the king damage because Valred is leaking too. Oh, wow. I mean, the chances are high for the boss to die to the concert passive because it has the highest damage output. But oh wow, if he didn't do that.
Yeah, if anything else killed the consort there, that's just crushing for Valred.
Like, imagine
if the last hit on the boss is huge.
Yeah, imagine if it wasn't the DT that's doing the magic damage on it. Oof, that would have been rough. But now
here comes a really big send. Yeah. A really big send. There's double Brute coming for Shadow, and there's going to be another 40 on top as well, so he can send a DT to go with. Shadow does get the Disciple, which is pretty solid, and he has at least got decent tanks there with the Devilfish, with the Green Devil. But yeah,
I really enjoy this fiesta. Those players are just trading blows left and right. Going for cents every wave, pushing hard, going for leaks every wave.
And Joke should hold now with the Harbinger, right? He should hold.
He should hold, yeah. But the Harbinger is more of a DPS unit mixed in with another DPS unit, so it's a bit worse than it looks. But he's doing all
Joke's
right.
holding though. Joke's just holding there, and Shadow's doing
he's
okay.
Plus 15.
I think Shadow might kill one more. It depends if he gets to the spell.
He should.
He does, okay.
Yeah, he does.
But that's fine. That's a +4 for Shadow.
And Joe just has a plus 15 value. Like he was just doing fine.
Yeah, Shadow might. Joke might even kill one of these. It depends how quickly the brutes get on the gun. But Valred will just full cover for his mate over there, so 0 king damage on that side. A little bit more king damage here for the side of Joke and Shadow, but nothing too extravagant.
Yeah, he's going for the safe play here as well. Which
just I don't sending and sending. Like, do you remember before the series started, we were kind of joking about the teams both going 1 till 11? Like, these guys are just sending every wave.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I really didn't expect it to go this wave.
Yeah, not at all. Not even close to this. But Shadow and Joke, they're both going to hold here, no problem. Joke is even shifting 130 gold here, and he's still going to hold comfortably. And now, actually, I think the ball is in the court of Joke and Shadow, because they don't have any pressure against them. They've both got 100 Mythium stored up. They can choose when they want to send. They can absolutely just choose any wave to send on.
I mean, why do you think it will be wave 10?
Why wave 10? Yeah, I mean, wave 10 certainly looks good against the flowers of both players. But both players also have options. Like Wavingcreed has the Serpent already on the field. Valred has the Sky Queen already on the field.
Yeah, but both players are kind of lacking the tank value for wave 10.
True.
And I don't think it's going to be a wave 9 sent against the death cap.
It can't be a wave 9 sent against the death cap, right? It can't be.
I mean, we have seen a death cap leak on wave 9 already.
Yeah.
But
that was when it was the only melee unit, though.
Yeah, true.
I mean, in fairness, this Valred's flower is his tank, so he can't afford both the death cap and a tank.
Yeah.
So it will be the first unit to die on wave 9. But as long as Shadow sends some magic damage, I could see that working.
I could see it working too. But the thing is, you kind of have to gamble on him getting the death cap.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't get it, you're sending like imps into one flower and a green devil and a Pegasus.
Yeah. I feel like wave 11 looks the best on paper, but there's Dark Ritual.
Look at Joke's value as well. Like, they are not forced to send here.
Yeah.
He is still plus 65.
Shadow gets his boar down here and the Clumper tank at the front there.
Yeah.
Jokeonu is not in any danger whatsoever with his Harbinger, with his Antler here, and his Vulcan Cannon. Like, this is an easy hold for him.
And I think I agree with you, because with this send, the pressure is not going to be in Shadow and Jokeonu at all. And if they get a ram out on 11, I don't think the Dark Ritual is going to save Wavingcreed and Valred from leaking quite big.
A Siege Ram is crushing against Wavingcreed. Absolutely devastating. Like,
Not
he just has
against
no chance to kill it.
Against both players.
Both players for sure, actually. But Wavingcreed and Valred, they're actually still overvalued. Like, Shadow and Joke have massive amounts of Mythium saved up. But Waving and Valred are still overvalued.
I think that's gonna change. They stayed kind of low workers, and now they're holding, or even better, maybe.
No, he holds. He holds.
Yeah, it would be better.
But it's a very slow hold.
Here. Yeah. But now they're pushing, and the values are certainly gonna change here.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Valred is 100 undervalue already. Wavingcreed is going for 50. Undervalue.
But Dark Ritual closes the gap somewhat, because that's 130 gold each, right?
Yeah, true. But at the same time, it's also king damage that they're getting in. by forcing them onto Dark Ritual.
True. I feel like Wavingcreed and Valred should probably just max their king at this point. And they do, okay.
Yeah, and they do, yeah.
As if by magic. But this is just more workers now for Joke and Shadow, right?
Yep. I mean, it's kind of a gamble. Like, if they expect 11 or 10.
I wonder if they just legit go wave 13. This is Joke and Shadow we're talking about.
I don't think it's the correct play.
No, but this is Joke and Shadow we're talking about.
Yeah, that's true. And
no, okay. That's a Kraken. That's a Kraken in wave 10. We were talking about siege rams. How do you feel about Krakens?
I really do enjoy the Kraken, because we can see the Berserker on Valred, which kind of counters big tanks, but the Kraken's arcane armor is perfect.
It's very good against the Berserker's ramp, yeah. And of course, there's no way that he's making that a Fatalizer this turn. There's just no chance he's turning that into a Fatalizer.
I mean, I think it's a good play. Like, when you expect a big tank on 11.
I don't know. I think, yeah. Like, I've made Berserkers on 8 before when I've been expecting Ghost Knights.
Yeah, he's adding a bunk, but he's just not going to be able to touch the wave, because he's never going to kill the Kraken. But if you build a Fertilizer, if you build a Fertilizer, you at least have the chance.
Yeah. I feel like Joke and Shadow have just won the game here.
Yeah, I think so too. I expect the Valred and Wavingcreed to die here.
Yeah, even with their value's insane, right? They're both above 2,000 value, but this is a 400 send, and this is a 480 send.
Wavingcreed is plus 70 here, so he's actually overvalued.
Overvalued, wow.
So let's see, maybe it will be enough.
It's still not enough.
But yeah, I also don't expect it to be.
And Valred is just leaking pretty much the entire wave after the Kraken.
Yeah, as we expected.
No, Wavingcreed is doing extremely well.
Yeah, he's massive.
79% on Valred.
He's
holding. Wow.
So the game is not over.
Wow. Wavingcreed with the hold there on 11. That is insane.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Now, bear with me, right? This is a 420 send.
Yeah.
What if Joke just skips income for a Kraken of his own? Isn't the game just over here?
I think it would be, yeah.
Because like, the ram is fine.
The violet
kills the ram,
a lot better against it, yeah.
And with that, Wavingcreed and Valred stay in the game. Now, sure, they're behind in workers, they're behind in income, but they're way ahead in value. Way ahead in value.
Yeah, they're overvalued after pushing.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they would like to push more, but they just don't have the funds yet. And yeah, what do you think we will see next? When do you think?
14 or 15 from both teams? 15 from both teams is is actually what I expect.
I've called 15 repeatedly so far in this cast, but then we saw
every time
13, we saw 14, and again I would expect to see a 15 cent, but yeah, those players are proving me wrong, since we can see a 13 cent.
A 13 send indeed, but Wavingcreed, I think he just holds here, no? Like, the send is pretty small, he has violets, he has Zeus.
He's just gonna hold.
But they send as well, so at least it's a wash, right? Like, Shadow gets his start.
How are we so good at reading the game, Penny?
I mean, that's why we're casting and not playing, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've heard about the caster's curse before, but now I experience it.
Now you're seeing it firsthand, yeah.
Like, you call the wave, and then instantly you are proven wrong.
Yeah. I think Joke just holds here. Shadow has a pretty good chance to hold as well. Wavingcreed, I think, just holds here. And actually, Valred gets a full Fatalizer, so he's going to hold as well.
Yeah, and he's plus 35.
I feel like one of the sides needed to just kind of make the decision to save here. And then...
Yeah, I also really don't like the send that Shadow got.
He
got a witch and two lizards. He might leak because he has 0 tanks. But
he's got so much damage though. The Starcaller Disciple with
yeah.
Magician is like insane DPS.
Yeah, true fan.
Right, he actually is leaking.
But he leaks. He's just lacking the tanks.
Yeah.
But I think this was not the best thing.
And Jokeonu might actually even be able to cover in the mid there as well. Valred leaks.
Oh, that's kind of unlucky.
And Wavingcreed leaks?
So we see a leak on Wavingcreed as well. Yeah, and on Valred that was plus 35.
Okay. I mean...
But that was really unlucky. Valred leaked a very, very low creep.
I'm actually surprised that they leaked here. Like, there's Firelord on Wavingcreed, double Violet, double Zeus. There's a full Fatalizer on Valred.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, Jokeonu able to cover Shadow's leaks, and meanwhile, a little bit more king damage dealt to the side of Wavingcreed and Valred. So Joke and Shadow, I think they are in the commanding position here in game number 2. But it's not over yet, because anyone can still win this one. This is close.
Yeah, true.
All right.
Well, will we see a 15-cent penny? Or will we not?
I mean, I feel like we have to see a 15-cent, but that just... Like, if I say there's going to be a 15-cent, that means there definitely won't be a 15-cent. So I just don't want to call it at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hesitant about it as well. Because I feel like we jinxed it every single time.
Yeah. But they have to, right? They have to.
I would absolutely expect them to, yeah.
I think Joke can't hold 15. Oh no, he shifted! He shifted to 50, so he's presenting weak on 14, but actually he can be very strong on 15.
Yeah, true.
So he's maybe trying to bait the 15-cent, but then they do send themselves, okay. Wavingcreed and Valred, they say...
He was shifting for in this area.
Yeah. So either way, this is going to be a turning point now in the game, right? Because if Wavingcreed and Valred leak, they're dead, basically. But if they hold and have successfully saved past their opponent's send, I think they're almost guaranteed to win.
Especially with Joke building in this area here.
Yeah. And a flower.
I really don't like that save, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean...
I don't feel like they could afford to, and I don't feel like 16 or 17 is good enough of an option to go for the save.
Now, Wavingcreed has that Phoenix, but the positioning is not very good. The Phoenix is a backline Phoenix, which means it doesn't get to ramp up its damage, it doesn't get to make use of that mana shield, and the only time it's going to start taking damage is when it takes the full focus of the boss and the shaman. To be fair, the rest of the wave was already dead at that point, so it can still tank for a very long time, but it's more about missing out that high DPS that the Phoenix can deal when it's off-tanking. So there's a leak there from Wavingcreed, there's a leak there from Valred, and this is game here on wave 15. I think... I mean, the casters have been wrong before, and the king does have 7 attack.
Already calling the GG, and Shadow and Joke as well.
This has to be over, right? There's no way the king survives.
Yeah, it has to be over.
Unless...
well...
Okay, victory. So we were all hoping for this to happen, and it has. We have a game number 3 on our hands. So let's go. Let's have a quick look over this game before we hop into the next lobby. Everything, if we look at the graph, it was a very up and down game, like super close, with both sides taking the advantage, and then that wave 12 send really giving the advantage back over to the side of Wavingcreed and Valred, but because of their hold, their Shadow and Joke just really in a commanding position there.
Yeah.
And we see Wavingcreed and Valred, they took a pretty early lead with that wave 4, right? Shadow and Joke both leaking super hard on 4, taking 40% king damage there. But that just gave them even more damage in return on wave 5, right?
Yeah, I mean, Wavingcreed pushed 2 workers into that long wave.
Yeah.
Like, if he just didn't do that, and, like, instead of building the consort on 5, just getting that hardened Mudman, for example...
Well, then it's a free hold, yeah, absolutely.
That would... Just 1 worker less.
He also got kind of lucky, remember, because his death rattle killed the Scorpion King.
It's kind of likely to happen because it has the highest damage. But just that one worker less, and
then we saw Joke hold the 100 send on 6, Shadow kind of baby leaking his 160 send, while Wavingcreed actually leaks more to an 80. So at this point, Shadow and Joke look like they're in the lead. Then they do this mega long save, send an enormous amount of Mythium on wave 11, which Wavingcreed holds. Keeps his team in the game. Like Valred leaks. Valred's leak is not even that bad to say he received a 500 send, right? But Wavingcreed holding was absolutely crucial there for the team.
Yeah, absolutely. And this was actually a point where I expected the game to turn.
Yep.
Because they saved so much and it didn't pay. It didn't kill them. It didn't pay off as much as expected. But then Wavingcreed and Valred both unexpectedly leak more on wave 13 than we would have thought. Also going for full sends that don't really pay off for them.
I mean, sure, Shadow leaks, but like it doesn't achieve anything, right?
Yeah, and then they just push quite hard after leaking. And
they pushed too hard to save past 15, right? Yeah. I think the push is okay if they send on 15. Yeah. If they send on 15. Because with a send there, they might even have held themselves, right? Like we saw Wavingcreed leak a very low HP boss.
Yep.
Valred's boss was quite low HP as well. I think if they just send on 15, even if it's only income, they can survive, like, for sure, right?
I agree. I think if they decide to push those workers, they should be sending on 50.
Yeah. Alright, let's hop into the next lobby. We can get the show on the road. But this is turning out to be a pretty exciting series as well.
Yeah, we're getting the maximum amount of games out of this.
Yeah.
First series was 3 games. This one is 3 games again.
Yeah.
And I'm already excited for the last match of today.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. I think
this is gonna be deciding for the teams who will be playing tomorrow and who can just lay back and enjoy the show with the other viewers.
Absolutely. So, it's too close to call, dude. Because Wavingcreed and Valred, I think they dominated game 1. Like, I think game 1 was the most one-sided. And
then they showed us they can win.
Yeah, game 2, Shadowings and Joke, like, they won, but it felt close pretty much the whole way through, right? And the fact that Wavingcreed held that insane wave 11 send just made the game much, much closer than it could have been otherwise.
The biggest difference, I feel like, is that they both kind of got a grip. Like, in the first game, they were not playing the way they normally play.
Yeah.
Like, even if the wave 11 send did not pay off as much as expected because of the insane hold on Wavingcreed, but this is the style that they play.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I think just seeing them doing more plays like this, like giving the game their own spin, is a big sign of them starting to perform better again.
Yeah, 100%, dude. Right, we are ready. I think we're just waiting. Okay, Wavingcreed and Valred are ready as well, so we can get into game number 3. And I've got to say, this the whole tournament so far has been really fast-paced. Actually, like we haven't had really any downtime apart from the quick break between round 1 and round 2. Like we've been back to back with just really exciting games. So I'm loving this Nova Cup so far, dude.
Yeah, everything's going really, really smooth, and we really get to see some action.
Huh?
Like, just as we said, like, even in this game where we saw some stuff, there were a lot more sense than both of us would have expected.
Yeah, from any of these players, right?
Matchup. Yeah.
And by the way, just as we were saying, like, the viewers can't see this because we're on cameras at the moment, but just as we were saying how there's been, like, no hitches, we actually had a failed launch there into game number 3. So the game didn't start. We have to get back into the lobby and restart all of the settings and stuff like that. So there will be a slight delay to the next game, but hopefully the players can get back in quickly. A little bit of a false start there for game 3, but we'll get there pretty. All right, just waiting, waving. Here he is. Okay, so we have all of the players back in the lobby.
They're swapping the sending order, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, so they want Wavingcreed and Valred have chosen for Wavingcreed to send into Joke and Valred to send into Shadow. So I think I'm not sure on that send order. I think what they've decided is that Wavingcreed feels like because Wavingcreed is kind of a higher elo player, maybe he thinks that he can hold Shadow's sends more easily than Valred can. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think I personally would be rather sending into Shadowings.
Yep. But guys, here we go. Game number 3 is underway. Let's jump straight into it. We have Shadow on cash out again, by the way.
Yeah.
And Valred and Wavingcreed on Chaos again. They've played Chaos every game so far.
Yeah. I'm really surprised. I'm very curious how he's going to be playing this without the Crusher.
Yeah. Alright. So Wavingcreed does go for the Oathbreaker start, but he's not going 5 workers. I wonder if he waits to see whether or not he receives a send on 1 before making that decision.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable to do so.
Reasonable for him. I wonder if Shadow even re-rolls on wave 1, just because that Bone Crusher is so powerful with cash out. I think it's a fine play.
That's an interesting thought, yeah. And seeing his role, I think generally alright to do so.
But he could also do something like Consort 5 workers and just make... but he's going for the Tempest. I don't know. I feel like cash out is kind of wasted if you don't go for a hyper-aggressive start.
Yeah, I agree with this. I would have liked to see the 5 worker Consort and save your Mythium.
Yeah, exactly. 5 worker Consort, save your Mythium, you leak 2 creeps, and then you can send like 60 on wave 2, which would have been devastating against Oathbreaker, by the way.
As you can see, it's really paying off that Wavingcreed stayed 4 workers because Shadow decided to siphon him.
But he pushes 5 anyway.
Oh, wow. What?
Okay.
No.
Oh, no, sorry, that was Joke. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong way.
Yeah, I was already surprised because that would have been a really big mistake.
That would have been a big mistake, sure. Now,
because looking at his roll, he has nothing to hold 40 if he pushes 5.
Alright then, so we have Shadowings still continuing to save his Mythium, but because he didn't go for that hyper-aggressive opener, not only could he not send 40 pre-income on wave 2, but actually he doesn't have a huge amount of Mythium all around, right? Like, I feel if he did that console opener, he could just send Brute here on 2. But that said, Wavingcreed would have held a Brute fairly comfortably with his Mask build.
Yeah, true.
So when does Shadow want to send? I mean, he can go for like Fiend Snail on 3, which is not bad. But again, with Wavingcreed having stayed on 4 workers, he can be pretty solid. Jokeonu, is there a Pro League here?
It's close. Like, I just like the Aqua positioning. It's a
Pro League. Yeah. There's his +4.
It is a Pro League.
That is a proper Pro League, especially while Shadow's saving here. So Shadow can definitely send his 80 now.
Yeah.
Oh, and look at that. Wavingcreed, 1 gold away from getting the Honey Flower on wave 3. I assume he just sells his mask.
I mean, he can also he could also just go for a Hellraiser.
You know, Hellraiser's not bad, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's like too big of an investment as well. If Shadow just goes straight 5.
Yeah, true. Now let's see, this isn't 80 send, but he has 335 value, which is insane, right?
Yeah, that's a lot of value.
I think he might just be fine. Meanwhile, on the side of Valred received a 60 send as well, and his Fire Archer is not really tanking enough.
Yeah, he's not fine, because now everything is going to collapse on it.
Yeah, but Wavingcreed just holds, and it's not close. Like, he's still got all of his units alive. He didn't lose a single unit.
True.
Wow.
And there is a weak on Valred. Yeah, and I already feel like the cash out.
It just hasn't paid off.
Kind of wasted.
It is kind of wasted, yeah. Like, I'm pretty sure that cash out is just very role dependent. Like, you need a hyper aggressive opener, otherwise cash out is just the worst mastermind option, right? It has to be.
Yeah, seems that way to me, for certain.
But Shadow, he even had options. He could have done a consort start.
Yeah, I agree. I also prefer the consort start over the double Tempest start. Because you have the 5 workers faster, because you have them instantly, and the league just gives you the time you want for your aggressive plays.
Yeah.
And imagine if he just sent 60 on 2, might have caused the league.
Oh, joke. A leak? No, the turtles on the Aquas. I think he just is completely fine, or maybe a small leak at worst. Shadow, of course, will hold against the double snail send.
Yeah, and
she does have some
doing alright. He's just fine.
He leaks 4 creep. Shadow holds and will full cover mid as well. So again, no king damage on the side, and they do have nice worker counts as well. Shadow even pushing number 8 here.
Yeah, that's a very nice push. And it's very aggressive.
Alright.
But
so Joke gets his Violet here.
Yeah, Joke is staying very safe.
He is staying very safe, and Wavingcreed as well is staying hyper safe. 520 value here on wave 5. Like, he's even overvalued. Like, Shadow's saving, sure. But when does Shadow want to send? Like, I assume it's going to go for a 6th send. It all kind of comes down to what Wavingcreed rolls to try and hold wave number 6, right? And the answer is not very much. He doesn't... I mean, he can do Devilfish, right? And Devilfish is a fantastic tank on 6. But he's just severely lacking in damage then.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not sure. Like, maybe a Hellraiser here would
Shadow can send a mole. I think a mole is a very, very good send.
Yeah, true. Like, maybe a Hellraiser on 5 might have been an option to prepare for 6, because it will do some damage when it's boosted, and it's insanely tanky.
True, but I think he just couldn't afford to do the Hellraiser on 5, right? Because he placed the Wanderer instead, but let's imagine that he went for the Hellraiser, and Shadow sends him, like, a Hermit and a Snail. He's just leaking the entire wave.
Yeah, it's kind of you're kind of always taking those gambles in the game, but I wouldn't have done that either. Yeah.
So let's see. Wavingcreed, he receives 140 here, but he's actually on value. He's plus minus 0 gold for the wave. The thing is, his units kind of suck.
But the thing is also, he's on 6 workers. He has no pressure on Jog. If he actually leaks here, I think this game is going in a very bad direction for him.
If he leaks here, this is crushing. And guess what? He is leaking, by the way. It's not a massive leak, but it is a leak. And Valred, he's not... He will hold his own lane, but he's not really going to cover.
Yeah.
He's down to his last Fire Archer, right? So there will be a bit of king damage here. But more to the point is just that Wavingcreed has no workers this game. And the long waves are just heavily in favour of Shadow and Joke, who have 10 workers and 9 on the side.
Yeah. Yeah, they can just snowball off of this. I just saw your +4 sunglasses on 3 penny, and it's just an amazing improvement.
It's really brings some very high production value into Legion streaming, right?
Absolutely.
The little things, you know?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's very enjoyable to see stuff like that.
All right, let's see. So Wavingcreed finally catching up in workers now. He gets his 9th worker here on wave number 7, but he's already behind in income. He's behind in value as well. Shadowings is ahead by 1, which is not a massive lead, but it is a lead. And despite
he has less value. He's the player greeding out the most in this matchup, I think. Like, I would have liked to see more aggression from Joke, especially since Wavingcreed stayed low worker for most of the game. And the way he is built, like with the fire elementals, like I feel like he's
making himself hyper vulnerable, right? He's actually playing redraw. I didn't see that until now, but Jokeonu is playing redraw.
Yeah.
So do you remember like game number 1 of the whole day when we were saying that Bonnie had half a ball for playing greed? Well, Jokeonu has gone full 0 balls redraw here. Yeah,
true. But I kind of like his role, honestly.
His role is very nice, He has the Aquas, he has the Halo, he has Bunk to Tank, he's got APS, which is a steroid for all of his DPS units. But by the way, here is wave number 8. Wavingcreed has 160 Mythium, and he did
send a mold,
Which signals to me that this is going to be a wave 10 send, because...
What?
9?
What?
Nani?
I feel like you calling that it's gonna be a 10 cent
is the only reason he sent on 9.
Instantly sent on 9,
Because there's no other reason to send on 9 when you can see that he has Violet in his role. Like, Joke is so bad on 10. Like, we can see the Halo, but Wavingcreed can't see the Halo. Like,
Joke is still gonna leak here, right?
Yeah, I mean, sure, because he can't afford his second Violet.
Yeah, also, I really think Wavingcreed should have sent a Hermit post-income instead of going for the Brood. Like, if he sends small Hermit, Joke is leaking
it's screwed. Yeah, absolutely screwed.
Yeah. So, I don't hate it, but I feel like going 10 against both might have been the better.
It might have just won the game. It might have just outright won the game on 10,
Yeah, so I
mean, they were feeling the pressure themselves as well here on 9. Like, you can't ignore the fact that they're getting really big. I mean, they're getting really big sends here themselves, right? So,
and I mean, Wavingcreed is leaking hard because it's only DPS. Yeah, I can't hate it.
And Valred's not holding either.
Oh, well,
98% there on Wavingcreed.
Everyone is leaking.
Jokeonu 63, Shadow 42. And Valred leaks as well. There's +4s all around.
Yep.
This is a big fiesta here on wave 9.
The leaks on Valred and Wavingcreed are slightly higher.
They are, and Shadow and Jokes, like, because they have kind of semi-AoE builds each, that's all low HP, so very little king damage taken on Shadow and Joke. Quite a lot more damage done to the side of Wavingcreed and Valred. They're actually speedrunning down to 50% king HP here.
Yep.
So a pretty solid advantage, actually, in the favour of Shadow and Joke there. And they resend here on 10, so rightfully seeing that Wavingcreed and Valred both suck really hard on this wave. Now, Wavingcreed very skillfully rolled Ranger in time for wave 10, which is obviously the ideal play there for him. So well done there for him to pick up the Ranger on 10. But Valred, he just has the Ranger as well, of course. Why wouldn't he?
Yeah, very, very skilled move.
Very skilled, very skilled. And this is why the players are in tournament level play, right? The Chaos picking up the Ranger at the crucial moment there. And the 120 send, which did look very, very dangerous before showing that Ranger, now not looking quite so powerful.
Yeah, true. And I don't know. I kind of have to agree with you that sometimes when you're playing Chaos, it just goes downhill. Yeah. Because if you look at Wavingcreed's build, it's kind of understandable how he got there.
Yeah.
But
it's not a great build, right?
It just does not look great. Yeah.
And Joke, of course, leaking wave 10 because he's playing Aquas, so he has literally zero chance to hold wave 10.
Look at his value.
Yeah, but there's no way. These units can't hold wave 10. They're incapable.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, an easy hold there from Valred and Wavingcreed with just the smallest of leaks himself.
Yep, that's true.
Now, of course, the pressure is heavily in favour of Wavingcreed and Valred because they saved their Mythium there on 10. We now have Wavingcreed with nearly 200. Valred does send a Dino here. I'm not entirely sure why. And they both take loan as well. But why?
I mean, they decided to keep saving, I guess, and they're feeling under pressure. I'm not sure when they want to go, like...
But Wavingcreed has 75 income on wave 11.
Yeah, but I feel like they're going for an all-in. We can see the
this is definitely all-in.
And the bunks on Jokeonu.
Yeah.
They
have to go 13, right?
Yeah, I don't think they will be going 12.
They have
Especially
to go 13.
with the Tempests and the Mudmans. So since they decided not to send wave 11, the loan actually makes sense to me with their game plan. Because otherwise they just die.
I mean, they could take Sorcerer as well, right? But yeah, I just hate seeing Wavingcreed on 75 income on wave 11. Like,
that's truly painful for them.
It's very painful for them. That's like wave 6 income.
Yeah, I agree. But I feel like they just decided, okay, we are trying to one-shot them, and we are trying to do everything to not die till then.
Yeah.
And if this is the price I have to pay, then that's what I'm gonna be.
Yeah, but look what Shadow has in his role for wave 13.
Oof.
Yeah.
I mean, the Orchids are already...
The Orchids are amazing as well.
Strong.
But he's even full shifting.
Is he full shifting?
He's full shifting. Shadow, balls of
steel.
Balls
on this man.
Absolute balls of steel. I mean, it's an easy read when you have like the Leviathan Circle and your mate has double bunk. It's a really easy read, but still, balls of steel. I think this is just going to be a game-winning play from Shadow, though, because now Wavingcreed and Valred, they don't have the option to decide to go, like, let's try 14 instead. They still have to go 13. And Shadow with his full Phoenix, like surprise Phoenix out of nowhere, he's just going to easily hold, I feel.
And we see the Ogre sent into the Phoenix.
Yeah.
It's going to be the easiest hold of Shadow's life.
The easiest hold of Shadow's life. He can even double harden his Mudman.
They even save because they don't feel threatened at all.
Yeah, there's no reason for them to. Like with the Phoenix, it's just insane. And Jokeonu even gets his Arc Tear here as well. So he's got one Arc Tear, he's got Violet to deal some DPS, he's got Devilfish to tank.
The game is just over. Yeah. They know how to close out games, and after they hold the send, well, Shadow is gonna be easy holding.
Yeah.
For Joke, it's gonna be close. I think he's leaking small.
Shadow took Taxed Allowance this game, by the way. I feel like Taxed Allowance is a very underused option. Like, obviously it's subpar compared to every other Legion spell, but in this case it probably was better than Loan, right, for Shadow, and it might have been better than Loan for Wavingcreed and Valred as well.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, depends.
The Joke, of course, will go for a big leak here, 100% actually, so that's a cheeky +4 for him. But Shadow can even just cover this, right, with his Phoenix.
Oh yeah, he should cover most of it. Like, the 4-eye is gonna kill the Phoenix. But it's not meaningful king damage here.
No, it might not even be any king damage depending on 4-eye's focus here.
Oh yeah. I mean,
he just
no king damage. Yeah, I expected to Joke to leak a bit less, but with his AoE build, the leaks simply look bigger than they actually are.
And now Wavingcreed and Valred, they're in panic mode. They're sending income, they're upgrading king, which of course is fully understandable. But Jokeonu and Shadow, they're just going to continue to save, and they can send any wave they choose at this point. They're just not under any pressure.
And I mean any wave.
Yeah.
I feel like they might even go for a 16 cent, even though 15 just looks better.
I could see 16 again. But like Wavingcreed sucks on 16. Valred, he has got a Phoenix, which is pretty amazing on 16, but that's kind of his only unit there.
I mean, he also has a Trinity Archer.
He does have a Trinity Archer, yeah.
But it's insane. The Phoenix is off-tanking perfectly, even though...
On Valred's lane, yeah.
Yeah, on Valred's lane. Even though the build looks, for me at least, very hard to understand.
Well, here comes the send. Here comes the send on wave 15 from Shadow and Joke.
They decide to go at the yeah.
And the sends are enormous, right? Like this is 400 plus from both Shadow and Joke. Now, Wavingcreed and Valred.
And I think it's the right call.
Both have options, you know. There's Chieftain here, but it's buffing a bunk currently. So can Valred place like a Neko in front of the bunk so that he has a big arcane tank? Goes for a flower instead. I don't know, dude.
Yeah, I also don't know.
And Wavingcreed did roll Firelord for this wave, but he just doesn't have enough gold to make it into a Phoenix.
Yeah, and it's not gonna change anything in the backline. Like, in my opinion, you need to place the Firelord in a way that it off-tanks. And if it's in the backline, it's just not gonna do that.
Let's have a look at Valred's Phoenix, talking about off-tanking. It's actually not... Oh, now it tanks. Okay, it tanks the boss and currently nothing else, which is actually super high value. This is really kind of perfect. But now it's tanking the entire wave.
His build is working out incredibly well, even though it looks unconventional.
Yeah, it definitely looks unconventional, but the aggro split between the bunk and the Phoenix is actually really, really good.
Yeah, I've noticed that on wave 14 already.
It still leaks, though.
Incredibly well.
He still leaks, and I think this is game.
This is game, and a very exciting last game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Our last series of today.
So really well played, Shadow and Joke. They will advance into the semi-finals tomorrow, so super well played for those guys. We look forward to seeing them play tomorrow. But Wavingcreed and Valred in their kind of tournament, or at least Nova Cup debut, these guys have impressed me. Like, they played pretty damn well.
Certainly, yeah. Like, I personally would have expected this games to look more one-sided than they did.
Yeah. But that, so saving past 13 there for Shadow and Joke, this really was the winning play, right? Like, Shadow full shifting 12, despite being saved on hard by Valred, a game-winning move. He gets the surprise Phoenix on 13, which gives him an easy hold and a full cover in the mid against Jokeonu's 100% leak. And that is just 100% a game-winning play, because then they can go in for the kill on wave 15, and it just works.
And then there's just nothing that Valred and Wavingcreed can do.
Absolutely.
And those guys just know how to close out a game after this.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Exactly. But yeah, I mean, wow. We've had two incredible series today, I think. We had the series number 1 with Drakir and Slickins, like, pretty much dominating Bonnie and Basti in the first 2 games. But they still managed to lose game number 2, so I kind of feel for those guys. And then Bonnie and Basti coming back with the surprise reverse sweep, going 2-1, was pretty damn hype. And then Wavingcreed and Valred, both games was a reverse sweep. So
serious, like the underdog taking the first game, like surprising everyone, and then the reverse sweep.
Yeah, and then the old school players just showing them what's up, right? Like,
exactly.
Alright, Zoomers, us Boomers still got a thing or two.
Getting the shit together, like maybe not taking the game seriously enough, but then deciding to like focus and bring some performance. Even though it's still really painful thinking about the first series, because they're here and Mr. Slickins, they really had that one.
Yeah.
It was one for them.
Yeah. Oh, it absolutely was. Like, that wave 13 where they decided to send instead of just going straight 15, they're going to have nightmares about that tonight, right? Like, they're going to be lying awake in bed, rolling over and sweating, thinking, why did we send on 13? There was no reason to send on 13.
Absolutely. But I think it's going to be a great learning experience for them.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
That shit will haunt them for long enough, so...
Yeah. But the fact
they will not do this again.
The fact that they damn near 2-0'd against Bonnie and Basti, like one of the most well-established tournament teams in Legion TD, like is a really positive sign for Drakir and Slickins. They have to take that away. Like, they have to be proud of their performance today. And likewise for Wavingcreed and Valred, right? Like, they lose here against Shadow and Joke, but Shadow, rank 1 player last season, like 3k elo, one of only 3 or 4 people to achieve that. Absolutely insane player. Jokeonu, fantastic player as well. And the fact that Wavingcreed and Valred not only took a game, but actually made the next 2 games look really close as well. You know, these new bloods, man, they're starting to shake things up, I think, a bit in the Legion TD scene.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
Absolutely.
I like to see different approaches to the game. Like, if you look at Valred's and Wavingcreed's build, this is not like something I've seen other players do.
Yeah.
And I mean, Wavingcreed pulls it off. I mean, he hit Legend with his builds, and it's just very unconventional. Just like the Phoenix split on Valred, it worked perfect on wave 14 and on wave
that was
15.
really impressive, actually.
And I've never seen another player built in a way like this.
Yeah.
And I think both losing teams can really be happy with their performance.
Yeah, for sure.
Just as you said, like Drahir and Mr. Slickens nearly destroying the old school players.
Yep.
Like, both games pretty one-sided, even though they lost the second one. And Wavingcreed and Valred also quite strong in every game.
I mean, they could easily have won the series on Wavingcreed and Valred, right? There were points in both game 2 and 3 where they were ahead.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So, again, I think the New Bloods have played fantastically today, but at the end, it is still the old school teams that make it through to day number 2. And really, really well played to Bonnie and Basti, of course, and to Shadowings and Joke, our winners on stream today. I will just